Your baby is watching a colorful, cheerful cartoon. They seem happy. They're calm. You finally have a moment to breathe. This feels like a win. But what if that screen is quietly doing something to your baby's brain that you can't see and won't notice until it's already happened? This isn't about guilt. It's about information that most parents simply don't have. And once you understand what's actually happening inside your baby's developing brain during screen time, you'll never look at that tablet the same way again. Here's what makes this so tricky. The shows themselves are expertly designed to hold your baby's attention. Bright colors, fast movement, catchy songs, exaggerated faces. Every element is engineered to keep little eyes glued to the screen. But a baby's brain isn't built for that level of intensity. Not even close. In the first 3 years of life, your baby's brain is forming more than 1 million new neural connections every single second. That growth depends on something very specific: real human interaction. The back and forth of a conversation, the warmth of eye contact, the texture of objects in their hands, the sound of your actual voice. These are the raw materials the developing brain is wired to learn from. Fast cartoons offer none of that. What they offer instead is an artificial dopamine rush. It feels exciting to the brain, but it comes with a crash. And over time, that cycle creates a serious problem. When a baby's brain gets flooded with that level of stimulation repeatedly, it starts to recalibrate around it. Real life, quiet play, books, toys, a conversation with you, all of it begins to feel dull by comparison. This is why so many parents notice their baby melting down the moment the screen turns off. It's not a tantrum. It's a brain that has been overstimulated and now can't settle. That's not a personality trait. That's a neurological response. Take some of the most popular shows on right now, scene cuts that happen every 1 to 3 seconds, backgrounds that flash and pulse, songs that repeat at high intensity, voices that stay at a constant level of exaggerated excitement. For an adult brain, it's a lot. For a brain that is still under construction, it's comparable to sensory overload. Researchers who have studied these programs describe the stimulation level as genuinely overwhelming for the infant nervous system. Yet millions of babies watch them every single day, sometimes for hours. And the effects aren't always obvious in the moment. They show up gradually. A shorter attention span, difficulty transitioning to calm activities, sleep that becomes harder to settle, increased irritability, resistance to independent play. Parents often look for explanations elsewhere, but the research is pointing somewhere specific. Studies using MRI imaging have found that significant early screen exposure can actually alter brain structure in young children. The regions affected are the ones associated with language development, literacy, and higher-level thinking skills. These aren't subtle differences. They're measurable changes in the physical development of the brain. The American Academy of Pediatrics hasn't made its screen time recommendations lightly. The science behind those guidelines is real and it's growing. Language development is one of the areas hit hardest. Babies learn to talk through interaction. They need to hear a word, process it, watch your face, and respond. That loop is what builds language in the brain. A screen can't create that loop. A screen talks at your baby, not with them. So hours spent watching even so-called educational programming are hours that aren't being spent building real language circuitry. Executive function takes a hit as well. The skills your child will rely on for focus, self-control, memory, and problem-solving develop most rapidly in the window between birth and age 5. When that window is filled with passive, high-stimulation screen time, the brain misses experiences it genuinely needed. And there's no going back to recapture that exact window. Here's what matters, though. The brain is remarkably resilient, especially in young children. Parents who reduce screen time and replace it with real-world experiences consistently report noticeable changes within just a few weeks. Better sleep, calmer behavior during transitions, longer stretches of independent play, more interest in books and simple toys. These aren't small wins. They're signs of a brain beginning to recalibrate. The shift doesn't have to be dramatic or overnight. Gradually pulling back on screen time while adding in simple alternatives makes the transition easier for everyone. Water play, sand, stacking, sorting, time outside, singing together, reading the same book for the 100th time. These feel ordinary. But for a developing brain, they are anything but. They engage multiple areas at once, build real neural connections, and lay down the kind of foundation that lasts. If screens are part of your child's day, consider slowing things down significantly. There are programs out there that are genuinely different. Slower pacing, real conversation modeled between characters, gentle storytelling. The contrast between those and the most popular high-stimulation shows is enormous, and your baby's brain will feel the difference. But more than any program, what your baby's brain is actually wired for is you. Your face, your voice, your presence. Not a perfect parent, not a constantly entertaining one, just a present one. The moments that feel unremarkable to you, narrating what you're doing, making eye contact during a diaper change, singing while you fold laundry. Those are the moments that are literally building your baby's brain. No screen can replicate that. Nothing can. So the next time you reach for that tablet to buy yourself a few minutes of quiet, which is completely understandable, just know what you're trading and know that the most powerful developmental tool in your home isn't a show. It never was. It's you.